everyone, and welcome to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'm Nat and this is my Knackers Yard. I'm probably going to disappoint people that regularly view and the subscribers, and maybe please those that have just dropped in for this single video, because in slight change from the norm, I'm not going to be playing with bikes in this video. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a product review of the paints that I've been using. Now, for those that have seen my other videos or want to jump in after this, I don't have an airbrush, I don't have a compressor, etc. I'd like to at some stage, but I'm not entirely sure I get enough use out of it yet. But out of straight rattle cans, you can get some really good results, and that's my 450 bobber, just as an example. A bit muddy, it needs a wash, but yeah, you can, with a bit of time, bit of effort, you can get some good results. Now, while I've been doing that and doing bits and pieces for another creation in the red, you can see the cowling just up the back there, I've created some test sheets. So I thought, why not use them for not just testing the paint, but testing how the paint reacts. So what we're going to do today is drip fuel on paint, which we all know from assumed knowledge from others is a bad thing, and real knowledge from a few where we've made that mistakes ourselves. But I thought I want to test it. So the paints that I've got are this one, Paint Factory Candy Blue, which I have used on the bobber, which actually on black on the silver, and if you're interested in how to get that effect, please feel free to look back on that playlist. But on the black it actually goes quite green, which is a bit strange. I've also got a cam brush spray paint, which is Candy Red, which comes out to look something like that, using the same effect. A bit dapply, that one. Oh well. But the one thing that I have used twice now is the ProXL 2K Clear. Now this is a two-part clear, hence the 2K, so it does have hardener in it, and it does therefore have petrol resistance to it, and that is the entire point of using it. It's relatively expensive. I mean, you can get these for sort of anywhere between £5 and £10. If you shop around, you can normally get them for around £6 or so. This is more expensive, and it's about £12–18. So you don't want to throw that all over the bike because it's relatively expensive, but it does give a really hard clear. What I haven't done though is thrown fuel on it, because after going through all of that effort, the last thing I'm deliberately going to do is throw fuel on it. Now, while I was working out how to do the effects, I've done it on a couple of aluminium sheets down here. So we have this one here. Well, I was trying to work out how to do the paint effect. Not very good, a bit scratched on that side, but it will serve for these purposes. Now on this one, what I did do was put the 2K Clear on it at the same time as I was doing the bobber. So that has had as many layers of 2K on it as that tank has, so it should be a good comparator. Now what I've done is labelled them up. So I've done a 2 minute, a 10 minute and a 1 hour. That's on the 2K side. Now on the other side, hasn't got 2K on it. It's a bit scratched and beaten, but it will work for what we're using it for a 2 minute, 10 minute and a 1 hour, and that is the Paint Factory. And what I've also got on the other one, again not the best painting because it was a test sheet more than anything else, but a 2 minute, a 10 minute and a 1 hour on the cam brush. And the reason this hasn't had 2K Clear on it, but it does at least profess to have petrol resistance in the spray itself, so we should be able to tell whether or not we need to 2K Clear it. I intend to, but whether or not we need to 2K Clear it, or whether or not it has some petrol resistance on its own. And we'll also do the same on the other side. So I have somewhere, there we go, I have 1x big syringe. I'm going to get some fuel on that and just drip it on. Now the timings I've got along here, the 2 minutes is really designed at that, right, okay, oops, I've spilt some at the petrol station or the gas station or the pump onto the tank. 10 minutes, kind of, I've done it, I've gone in, I've paid, I've come back out, oh bugger, I've spilt some. And the 1 hour is, I've got home and realised I've spilt some. That's kind of the methodology I've used behind my timing. So I'm going to chuck some fuel on and just see how they survive, if indeed they do. Right, so good to go on the less than scientific experiment. So I've got a fresh syringe here out of the diversion actually. So let's just go for a bit of a dribble down the 2 minute, dribble down the 10 minute, and there, and I'll flip that round. That's the 2K side. Back onto the non-2K side. Dribble down, dribble down, dribble down. Onto the no 2K clear. And just bang that on. Right, happy. Right, so do on my backwards clock that confuses everybody, but I kind of get it, and we'll do the 2 minutes. Whilst that's going on, just point out that I'm just a tit in a garage. I'm not sponsored by any of these people. None of it was given to me. I don't really know why we end up doing these disclaimers, but it seems to be the sort of thing you need to do. So yeah, there's no benefit in this or proving it one way or another. It's just satisfying my own idle curiosity, and if it helps other people out, then great. Happy. Right, see you in a minute and a half. Right, so a couple of minutes later, and let's give them a wipe off. Right, so wipe off after 2 minutes. The 2K clear, let's cope with that absolutely fine. Nothing on it at all. Oops. The Paint Factory, I mean, it's not a great paint job, so it's a bit more difficult to tell, but it seems to have done okay. It seems a little bit less shiny, but it seems to have coped okay. And the can brush, petrol resistant, yeah, not a mark on it. It looks a bit, I mean, it's a crap paint job, frankly, but it was a test sheet, so I'm not too bothered. Right, so 2 minutes, fine, absolutely fine. And frankly, I wouldn't have thought anything different. So now I'm going to leave that another 8 minutes, so till 5 till my confusing clock, and we'll see if there's any result on the 10-minute test. For those concerned about all the flags up there, this isn't. I'm not a member of the British National Party. They're remnants from VE Day. I didn't have the art to throw out. Cool. Cheers. Right, so that's the 10 minutes from soaking. I've just dried it off a bit. On the 2K clear, not a mark at all after the 10 minute. So on the old Banksy Lady, nothing on it at all. Still a beautiful shine. A bit trickier to tell on the non-2K cleared because the paint job is a bit rubbish, and it's hard to pick up on here. It's starting to get a little bit of misting that I didn't have before, which isn't surprising. So at this early stage, it looks like the stuff that isn't or doesn't claim to be petrol resistant at all will cover you if you spill some on it in the when you're filling, and wipe it straight off, but it might struggle if you go in and get a can of Coke as well. On the stuff that professes to be petrol resistant, again, not a great paint job because it was a tester, but it's not misting and it's coping quite well. Right, so I'll see you in about an hour. Right, so there we go, a little bit over an hour. How we got on? 2K is, I've wiped off the petrol. The 2K is untouched. The Paint Factory is okay but a bit misty, and the can brush is still a crap paint job, but it's fine. If anything, there's a little bit of misting in the gaps, but to be honest, it's such a bad paint job. It was only a test sheet, so I'm not overly concerned. So what? He's going to pull down. So what? I think that stuff's pretty awesome. So that has had fuel on it for an hour, and it's fine. And I think what I'm going to do now is really test it, lay them flat, chuck on some fuel, and just leave it to see if it will kind of eat through for a period of time. No idea how long. Yeah, that's just coped beautifully with it. So I'm going to pull some fuel on it and just leave it on it and see if it can burn its way through or not. Happy days. So there we go, lay them flat, fuel on. Now this should theoretically just destroy it, because you're not really going to get that many situations where there is pooled fuel on your paintwork. It should be a good challenge for it. Yeah, so this time we are ignoring the times. You just pour it on. See what happens. Immediately lifting the ink off that pen anyway. Cool. I'll leave that on for a period of time and see if we can actually defeat it. Okay, so we've had a couple of good hours there. Closer to 3 actually. Not a blemish. Not a blemish on the 2K. So big thumbs up. Again, no sponsorship deal, but if you happen to work for ProXL, please feel free. And the cam brush, I think it's just starting to, but frankly that's because it's been sprayed badly. I think when I spray the tank properly with this stuff, I'm going to do a proper sheet. I'll probably just use the back of that actually. Do a proper sheet and see how it survives, because I'm really quite impressed with that. I didn't think it would go so well. It's not changed my mind. When I do the tank for the SV650, doing this effect, this colour, etc., I'm still going to use this because I've got it more than anything else, but it just gives such a good shine as well, really deep luxury shine, which is good. Right, cool. Big thumbs up. Yeah, that'll do me. Thanks very much all. Please share around and enjoy.